Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're going to do something a little different today. I've seen a lot of thumbnails for this. It happened, I guess, more than a couple years ago. It's SAS operators smoke these Nairobi insurgents. They call this guy Obi-Wan Nairobi. SAS stands for Special Air Service, which is kind of Britain's elite special forces team, or at least one of them. And so I don't know anything about this, to be honest with you. I did look a little bit into it. I saw a part of an interview with Sean Ryan when he was talking about kind of what happened during that day. And I watched a short video. I haven't seen this video yet. So we're going to look at this together, and we're going to, give a live reaction to it. So please, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. At the end of this video, I will be reading the comments from my other videos, and we'll see how that goes. There should be a lot of them, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate your time. Let me get a smaller window here. Get my headphones on, and let's do this.
Tuesday, January 15th, 2019. A British SAS operator on a mission to train local Kenyan defense forces quickly found himself in the middle of a 2-day siege at the luxury Duset D2 complex in Nairobi. The 5 gunmen unleashed fury as hundreds of innocent civilians ran for their lives. But not before the solo operator grabbed his weapon and his kit and stormed in, self-initiating an off-duty rescue mission.
How many of you heard of this when it happened? Like I said, this is really my first time hearing about this. It got kind of introduced to me. I watch a gun tuber called Administrative Results. He's a local Arizonan, and he was talking about his loadout, and I'll do a reaction to that video later. But yeah, I didn't know that this happened at all. Unfortunately, in the United States, our news gets overpowered with political crap. And we don't get to hear real international news very often unless you really look for it. So let me know if you heard about this. This is an amazing story.
And after a 19-hour game of cat and mouse, the lone operator saved hundreds of lives and took the lives of the enemy.
Wow, look at him just holding hands. That's crazy.
In 2019 alone, there were over 6 terrorist attacks in Kenya. And over the last several decades, terrorism in Kenya has run rampant throughout, from the 1975 Nairobi bombing to the 2013 Westgate Mall incident. And since its creation in 1895, East Africa has been at the nexus of several political disputes that revolve around the political conflicts of the Middle East, as Kenya has remained an ally of Western governments and is host to several sensitive Western interests, including US and British military bases. And with poverty, weak borders, corrupt or incompetent police, and the rapid rise of extremist groups, Kenya and other African nations have quickly become hotbeds and easy targets for global terrorists. And the Kenyan army has yet to contain the influx of terrorism moving in from Somalia. And sadly, too many Kenyan soldiers have died trying.
See, this is stuff we know nothing about. There's conflicts going on all over the world, and we have no idea it's happening. And the weird thing is, like, as soon as we draw attention to stuff like this, we feel the need to do something about it, but only then. And it's just strange what we choose to pay attention to and what gets reported.
At the forefront of Kenya's counterterrorism efforts are the Kenyan Defense Forces' well-armed and well-trained Special Operations Forces. The Kenyan Special Operations Regiment, the 30th Special Forces Battalion, and the 40th Ranger Strike Force, who have all received their training from both U.S. and British Military Special Operations Command, such as the U.S. Army's highly capable Green Berets and the United Kingdom's ultra-secretive Special Air Service.
Just so you know, the Green Berets mission is they go out in these kind of smaller teams, and they train and they get local people to they're what they call force multipliers, where they they kind of recruit people and create an insurgency and that kind of stuff to kind of counteract whatever is going on in a particular area.
And in January of 2019, an SAS team was sent out to do just that. Amongst the SAS team was a team member by the name of Craighead, a seasoned operator who first joined the British Army at 16 years old in 1992. He began his career as a junior paratrooper before coming of age and moving onward to the paratrooper regiment, which, for comparison to the United States, a British paratrooper is the same thing as an Army Ranger. After serving 3 years as a paratrooper, Craighead then joined the Pathfinders, which again, for U.S. comparison, it's like MARSOC. He deployed with the Pathfinders to Iraq during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, where he led reconnaissance missions. And around 9 years later, he attended and completed the SAS's notorious 6-month-long selection program and joined the SAS regiment.
Hard ass.
And in true SAS fashion,
let me tell you something. When you join, and especially if you're in some kind of special forces kind of situation, I was just a regular ground pounding Marine, but close enough. And you do your first contract, and you get hit hard with stuff, and then you re-up and you sign up for harder training. Very few people would do that. Okay. Basic military training is tough for most people. So to take that in and ask for more, double portions even, is pretty hard ass, to be honest.
The rest of his history is lost and remains untold, as the ethics of the Special Air Service are true to form of the phrase, the quiet professionals. But the SAS's legendary exploits over the years have often superseded their efforts of secrecy.
The end came with an assault on the building by the Army Special Air Services Regiment, the SAS.
And at the tip of their spear lies the 22nd SAS Regiment, the Special Air Services Tier 1 unit, of which Craighead belonged. And when his seemingly peaceful training mission in Kenya took an unpredictable turn, Craighead delivered the gunman an unpredictable turn of his own.
Wasn't expecting Rambo to show up.
On the afternoon of January 19th, at approximately 3 p.m., at the 5-star Duset D2 hotel complex, as guests were having lunch and shopping around, 5 Kenyan nationals of non-Somali descent were moments away from executing a calculated attack. The terrorist cell had traveled to the complex from their home base located in Somalia. Armed with AK-47s, hand grenades, and an IED, the men staged outside of the complex.
Scary.
The 14 Riverside complex in its entirety is one of East Africa's largest and more upscale developments, consisting of banks, restaurants, executive offices, and the hotel itself. A stage with stark contrast to the barbaric attack that was soon to unfold. At approximately 3:30 p.m., one of the insurgents breaks off on his own and enters the complex, where he locates and fronts the outdoor patio of the lively lunchtime rush of the Secret Garden restaurant, shouting aloud in Swahili before committing to the first phase of the attack and blowing himself up.
Oh, wow. Talk about commitment to a cause, man. Jeez. You just wonder, like, what makes these people feel so strongly about something? Like, obviously something is bothering them deeply.
Once the explosion was heard, the 4 men began their assault, where they engaged 2 Kenyan police officers guarding the gate. The men then threw hand grenades at 3 unattended parked cars, setting phase 2 of the attack into motion. 2 explosions to create panic and confusion. The 4 men then entered the complex and split up into 2 groups as they made their way to the first office block and began shooting and throwing grenades inside. And at this point, everyone is trying to escape and call for help.
Wow.
By any means necessary.
Crazy. It's crazy how social media and stuff is an outlet now that people pick up for help. 911 just isn't enough anymore. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, how sad. Ugh.
Members of private security forces and armed individuals, along with some off-duty police officers, were some of the first to respond. At which time, an unknown person present at the complex picked up his phone and called his friend, Christian Craighead. He answered
Here we go.
and could hear the sound of gunfire coming from the background. The man requested for Craighead's assistance at the complex. He grabbed his gear and jumped in his truck, dodging in and out of traffic and arriving on scene only moments later. He had little to no intel on what was specifically taking place, but the sound of automatic gunfire was evident.
I watched a little bit of the interview where he talks about like what happened that day, and he can't really talk about a lot of specifics of like what happened during this incident. I think he has a book that's pending, and it's getting tossed around by a lot of political entities to kind of get a release. So I don't know if it's even out yet. But he said earlier that day he had picked up a random hitchhiker, which he never does. He doesn't do this kind of stuff. Guy got in his car, and he looked at him dead in his face, and he asked him what his name was, and he said, "Bless you, God bless you, Chris." And it triggered something in his mind where it's just like everything kind of stopped, and he was like, "Wow." I mean, that was kind of powerful at that moment, even though people say that kind of stuff to people all the time. He took that in, and he said that the rest of the day from that point on went perfect. Now, I don't think that what he meant by saying the day went perfect as, obviously people lost their lives and there's a very terrible situation happening. I think what he meant by it went perfect as everything that he initiated and everything he tried to do, he was able to succeed. So obviously it wasn't a perfect day and a perfect situation, but his actions and everything that followed his actions, he felt was perfect in a way where he could do what he needed to do without getting himself hurt. So I think that's what he meant.
Wearing a balaclava, body armor, and freaking Armani jeans. This dude's
Armani
007.
jeans.
And he's also got a Black Rifle Coffee Black Beard patch. Craighead armed himself with a Glock 17, a
Black Rifle Coffee is pretty popular here in the States.
combat knife, and a suppressed Mako C8 carbine rifle. And without orders, relying only on his elite training and battle-proven instincts, the SAS operator went rogue and mobilized himself. And just like that, Obi-Wan Nairobi was born.
Wow. Sounds like a guy that knew that he could make a difference and just did what he had to do. And a lot of these guys are like that, man. They're just humble, and they just they're there for that, and they just have something in them, and they just do what they have to do.
Craighead could be seen escorting dozens of civilians out of the complex, and even carrying out the wounded. And with each pull, he turned around
Look at
and
that.
went right back in and did it again.
Damn.
The locals were in awe of a masked foreigner who appeared to be single-handedly taking control of the situation wherever he could.
Mm-mm-mm.
It wasn't long until reinforcements showed up. As police and other Kenyan forces responded to the scene, Kenyan soldiers and police established a perimeter around the complex. Craighead embedded with a group of the soldiers and moved through the complex to continue rescuing employees and guests who were still pinned down within. And
It's crazy that he doesn't really have any authority there, yet the local authorities are welcoming his help. That's insane. I don't know if he knows any of the law enforcement people there. Maybe he does, and they just know that he's a good guy. But this probably wouldn't happen in the United States. Like if random citizens aren't allowed to participate in their operations and stuff like that.
And footage from the event even shows him leaving those forces behind and taking matters into his own hands to directly
crazy.
engage the enemy. And
What a
while clearing
badass.
buildings and sweeping the courtyards, Craighead located the terrorists and swiftly engaged the enemy, single-handedly killing 2 of them.
Wow. If a man plays a fool, that's only a fool to persuade, but appear to be the devil, and all men will submit.
Blackbeard, hell yeah.
Fire altogether had ceased, and
That's
authorities in
nice.
Craighead alike began to clear the rest of the complex, as the actual number of attackers was unknown at this time. He assisted with coordinating logistics with local Kenyan authorities, went room to room searching for remaining attackers, and provided remaining civilians with a safe escort to the outside perimeter of the complex. While it had been thought that the threat had been neutralized, after a few hours, gunfire and explosions were again heard in the early hours on January 16th. As Kenyan police located the remaining 2 gunmen in a hotel room, and after engaging the men, the Kenyan police apprehended the wounded suspects. And by 11:48 p.m., the Kenyan government announced that the 14 Riverside complex had officially been secured.
9 hours.
"20 Kenyan citizens, an American and a British South African man, died during the attack."
Wow.
The terror group Al-Shabaab issued a statement claiming the attack was coordinated with the assistance of Al-Qaeda as retaliation for the relocation of the U.S. Embassy in Israel.
Okay.
Christian Craighead was awarded a conspicuous gallantry cross for ending the 19-hour siege, which is the second highest honor in the United Kingdom. His heroic actions saved hundreds of lives, and he retired from the SAS in 2020. He wrote a book about the event titled One Man In that is currently pending approval from the Ministry of Defense. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video,
All right, well, thank you so much for watching that with me. What a great story, and honestly, like, terrible situation, you know what I mean? So, you know, thank God he was there and he was ready. So, I'm gonna go watch his loadout video with administrative results, and we'll see exactly what he's carrying. It looked like a Mark 19 suppressed, but I could be wrong. Let me see here. I'm going to get to our comments. Let me see. And just so you know that this stuff right here is like, I don't edit any of this stuff. It is what it is. So when we do this, just know this is real. Okay, so here we go. Let me go all the way down to the last one. Let me see. About 20% has been one of my favorite channels. Okay, so I think this was the last one here. Pat 8888. The nails into the ignition holes of the cannons is actually called spiking the guns. Oh yeah, we're talking about disabling the cannons. Americans Pirate. This is in reaction to America's Pirate. Love and enjoy this comment reactions. Your commentary has been is the best on YouTube when it comes to the Fat Electrician. I don't know when he. Okay, I think I've read some of these. Let me do this one. Okay. Here's another America's Pirate. I couldn't keep track of how many ships he destroyed. Just a madman roaming the seas with a mission and Marines. Great content and channel as always. Thank you very much. Carol the Half Demon. Whoa. The scenes being shown talking about John's fight with machine guns 2546 is from the Pacific. I highly recommend react to. It's quite good. Yeah, I really want to see that show. I heard it was amazing. This has become one of my favorite channels. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was from Linda Ackerman 4412. Actually, during World War II, only about 20% of the German army was mechanized. The rest traveled by horses. Yeah, that was a surprise to me too, man. Dragon Weary 44. Okay, Cotton's Ashcroft. Cotton Ashcroft. So cool that you lived near Luke Air Force Base. I grew up a couple miles up the road. There, went to Luke Day every year growing up. Yeah, man, Luke Air Force Base. Honestly, when I first got here, we stayed at base housing there. And you know, we I lived in Glendale pretty much. That's where I grew up. So yeah, we used to go to the 4th of July, and every time they had an air show and stuff like that, it was an awesome place. It was an awesome way to kind of be raised. Okay, let me see. This one was from 10 days ago. One of my favorite reaction channels, man. Been subbed for a while. Now I even recommend you watch the first Medal of Honor recorded. I don't know if you reacted to it because of my comment, but I remember posting the comment and like 2 days later you uploaded it. Love how you are active and your subs and how you genuinely listen. I can't wait to watch you branch out into whatever you want to do with your channel. I've been here the whole time. Great video. Oh, bless you so much, man. I'm gonna start doing some of my own stuff. There's some history things that I don't think people are aware of that I want to bring some stories to the forefront, and kind of that's what I'm working on. My biggest obstacle in that is relearning Premiere. Adobe Premiere is like the editing software, and as soon as I get my chops back with Premiere, and I could do some of my editing the way I want to do it, because I have to do all this stuff myself. I don't have a team or anything like that. This is all me. So that's where I'm at with that, and I appreciate you so much for your support. Thank you so much. Andrew Futter. Awesome. I couldn't believe the timing you reacted to Terry Allen and then reading my comment after reacting. That's right. I will find your reaction to the airborne video. Thank you again. Thank you so much. You're such a great subscriber. Let me see. Pinup Viper. I just realized I actually comment a lot just because like the last time I think there was a few of them, but you did react to like you did comment on a few different videos at different times. So I appreciate it. Please don't hesitate to leave more comments. Pam Forrester, she's such a great subscriber. Another winner, even at this ungodly hour of the morning, as soon as a long day fat electrician can make it bearable. Amazing story. As always, thank you for your video and your commentary. Happy weekend, everybody. Happy weekend to you. Let me see. This is in reaction to the VT fuse. The way I crackled when he said that someone with small rockets would say. Yeah, that was pretty funny. This guy, masterful editing to the VT rocket. I don't know if that was sarcastic or not, but I appreciate your comment, sir. Let me see. Elgary 14. You're missing all the good cards because you're talking over them. Yeah, that was one of my earlier videos, and that was in reaction to America obliterates half of Iran's navy. That was a really, really good story by the fat electrician, by the way. But that was one of my earliest videos, so, you know, I was still learning and stuff like that. I didn't have people like you kind of giving me good advice, so I appreciate your comment. Let me see. This is about Millet. My great uncle is an Arizona U.S. Marine who went down with the ship. Oh, wow. Wow. My uncle is in the USS Arizona, U.S. Marine. Oh, so he's in the memorial. That just gave me the chills, man. Wow. Wow. Ooh. Wow. Wow. Let me see. This is in reaction to the AK-50. If he uses slap rounds, I hope they're not overcharged. Oh, yeah. That was, I think the Kentucky Ballistics had an overcharged round that blew up in his face. So that's scary stuff, man. Let me see. This is about Big Dad Energy. I like that you don't butt in a lot, but when you do, is short and good to the point. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's what I try to do. I try not to get in the way of the video, but just try to give you my comment without, interrupting the flow of what's going on. You've got to hang out with the Lance Corporal Underground. You don't really get a full scoop on shit before most of the officers or NCOs know, and the shit they won't pass on. It's true. Semper Fi, this is from Spider Computers. Semper Fi, I still remember the little ditties they had us chant at PI. 2 Marines, 2 medals, Dan Daly, Smedley Butler. But yeah, they should have gotten that second Medal of Honor. Yeah. Let me tell you something. When you're running and doing formation runs, those little songs and stuff like that, it really does help kind of get oxygen in your lungs, and you kind of forget about the pain a little bit. It's unbelievable how that works. The camaraderie you feel with the people and knowing that everyone else is going through pain like you, it really does help you get along. Awesome job. Love the fat electrician. I appreciate that, Bob Harp. I appreciate that. One more time. Bob Harp again. Here's a different one this is for Fury. One more time. There's so much to keep up with. So good work. Okay. Appreciate that. Thanks again, Bob. At the end of the video, only the soldiers from different times walks forward. Oh yeah. Listen, that 1916 video, the Sabaton videos, man, those guys get me every time, man. I get choked up watching their stuff. Sweden here, good job, man. I love that I get people watching from Sweden and other countries. It excites me so much. You have no idea, because I'm not from the United States either. I was born in the Philippines, but I've been here so long, like but I mean, to hear from people from Europe is so amazing. YouTube's so awesome because of stuff like that. It really is. U.S. Marine reaction. Okay, this is for the Winter Soldier. Sanctioned drug use still occurs with modern day military. It's true, unfortunately. Had friends return from service and had told stories, went in and out of rehab. Yeah, they used to give our pilot stuff called go no go pills, were basically amphetamines, man. It's terrible what we do to our own people sometimes just to get work done. And let me see. Wake Island, great job. Love the reaction. Yeah, Wake Island was a great story, man. Yeah, if you haven't seen that reaction, watch it. It's so good. His interview at the end made me tear up. There's a few interviews at the end of some of these videos that made me tear up, man. Some of them worse than others, and I just can't help it. It is what it is. Kenneth Miller, you said yourself in your reaction why this video was a songny with one thing the band tried to show was the folly of war. This video shows soldiers from across history marching together, fallen brothers across time, united for the folly of war. It's true. It's true what our governments make us do, and we're really just there for the guy next to us for the most part. And we just get pushed in these terrible situations sometimes, and it's I don't know. They take advantage of the fact that we're honor bound to do some of these things, and it's unfortunate. My first years in the Marine Corps, this is from Word 639. My first 6 years in the Marine Corps, my Marine birthday was started with an insane level of drinking and and always ended up with me in the front yard. I just was vomiting my guts out. Yeah, if you haven't puked in your dress blues as a Marine, you're missing part of the experience, I think. Okay, and here's the last one, and this is for Christmas Truce, which was a crazy. This is another video that brought me to tears. If you haven't seen the reaction, respect goes a long way, friend or foe. Yeah, I mean, in that video, to stop in the middle of war and exchange gifts on Christmas and then to go back to war the next day that was a crazy concept for me to wrap my head around. So thank you so much for commenting, Joe Brulette 2862. Okay, so those are the comments. Again, thank you for your time. I'll probably be doing another video tomorrow. Maybe I'll do the loadout video for this one with administrative results. I really like his channel. So again, thank you again, and have a good day.